Hey guys, Let's Play here. So, Vanille is the next event character, and I thought I'd do a breakdown of the whole event. So I'll be talking about Vanille, I'll be showing how Vanille is in battle, I'll be talking about her passive, the banner as well for the event. Also, I'll be doing a breakdown of the boss that you will be facing in this event. So it should give you a good idea of what to expect for this event. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. Alright guys, so let's talk Vanille. So Vanille hails from Final Fantasy 13, and in this game she is a magical attacker. As you guys can see by the symbol of all the abilities, they use the magic symbol. For the crystals, Vanille uses red as part of her crystal growth, so she uses red crystals as part of her crystal growth. The best way to describe Vanille's role in this game is a saboteur. If you guys have played Final Fantasy 13, you'll know that role. So that role is really about inflicting debuffs and kind of messing up your enemy. And I've got these two enemies here to really demonstrate just what Vanille is really good at. So, Vanille's first ability is called Deep Protect version 13, and it's a one-hit magical brave attack. It inflicts small defense down for 2 turns. Then Vanille's second ability is called Dispel version 13, and it's a one-hit magical brave attack which removes 1 buff from the enemy. So we're going to demonstrate both of Vanille's abilities right here. So as you guys can see, this enemy has a buff, and I'm going to use Dispel to get rid of it. So yeah, that's pretty cool about Vanille. So you can really mess up enemies by giving them a defense down debuff, so your party will be doing more damage. And then her Dispel is really good at just getting rid of buffs that enemies tend to rely on to make themselves be a lot stronger than they are. But that's pretty much Vanille in battle. Now we'll be talking a bit about her passives. So I'm just going to end this enemy here and then get into the nitty gritty about Vanille's passives. Vanille and her passives. Apologies for Japanese and stuff because it won't be easy to understand, but I'll be going through all the passives. I've got a list on my tablet, so I'm going to be reading the list as I go down, and I'll be just talking about Vanille's passives. So her first one is I'm going to use the Japanese translation, so I'm not going to use like the mighty ability or the charged ability, because yeah, I prefer the Japanese names of the abilities, but yeah. So her first ability is Deep Protect Power Up, so that increases the power of her Deep Protect by just a little bit. So then her second one is Debuff Guard Up. So what happens with this one is that Vanille's defense increases slightly when the enemy has a debuff. Yep, let me go to level 15, and that is a really good one, I think. It's Deep Protect Light, so that will reduce the turn delay when you use Deep Protect, so that means Vanille will be acting faster after using it, and you really make a noticeable difference. Like, you see Vanille's turn to shoot a lot quicker when you're using Deep Protect Light, so that's one of her better passives. Then we get to level 20, which is where you get Dispel. Now the game says, we like Dispel, so the next pass after that is Dispel Light. So like Deep Protect Light, you will really notice a speed difference when you use it, and Vanille's turn will come a lot quicker. So yeah, so this one reduces the turn delay that you get when you're using Dispel. Then level 30 is Deep Protect Charge, so then you get 1 more usage from Deep Protect. And then 35 is Dispel Brave Gain. So Vanille will gain a small amount of Brave after using Dispel. I don't know if you guys caught it in my demonstration of her abilities, but as you guys could, if you did see, there was a little green numbers, and that was that ability in passive. So it wasn't all that great, but it's something, and every little bit of Brave helps. Then Vanille's level 41 is Bonus Up All. So it increases the break bonus when you break an enemy, so that's pretty handy. Then 45 is quite a bit, but you will get Dispel charge, so that means one more usage out of Dispel. So that's pretty good as well. Then, her level 50 ability is called Herber's Miracle. So that means that if Vanille's HP is above 50% and an enemy has the kill shot on her, she will survive at 1. So that's pretty good. So the boss, especially for this event, can get Brave very high very quickly. So if he's targeting Vanille and you're thinking, oh no, there's something I can do, you can not worry, because he won't be able to one-shot her if your HP is high enough. But yeah, that's Vanille's passives in a nutshell. They're actually quite good, and you really notice the charge abilities because Vanille's turn shoots like when you use your abilities, and if you're debuffing enemies and stuff like that, then Vanille's just perfect here. She really is a good saboteur, and that's why I really like Vanille, and I can't wait for her stuff to get better in JP. But yeah, that's a breakdown of Vanille, and the next part we'll be talking about the banner. So I'll see you in a bit. So let's talk the Vanille event banner. So in the Vanille event banner, the 3 focus characters are Vanille, Hope, and Yuna. Let's talk Vanille Relic. So Vanille's Relic is called the Physician's Staff, and this increases the power of Deep Protect by a bit. It also extends the duration of the defense down debuff to 3 turns, and also adds an attack down debuff for 3 turns as well. So that's pretty good. You lower the attack and defense of an enemy and increase the power of Deep Protect. So overall, it's a pretty good and solid relic. Now we'll move on to Hope. Hope's 5-star Skycutter, it adds a small attack up buff to Shell. So not only will you get a magic resistance, you'll also get attack up buff as well and Brave. So that's pretty good. 3 good effects in 1. Yuna's relic now is the 5-star Astral Rod, and that turns Esuna into an AoE ability. So that's pretty cool as well. So this is a pretty solid banner, and I like this banner, and that's kind of why I didn't want to pull on the Terror banner that's currently active now in global. The bronze, it's hard for this one, but I'm gonna have to give it to Hope, unfortunately. But the small attack up buff is pretty decent. It's pretty decent. I'll have to say that. But I think that the effects that you get from Vanille and Yuna are much more useful to you. Now, this is a tough one for me. So this is just my opinion. So if you disagree, feel free to disagree. But for me, the silver of this banner is Vanille. But it's a very close to being gold. The debuffs are really good, but unfortunately 3 turns is still too short, which is a shame. If it did like 5, maybe 6, I'd rate this probably the gold, but those 3 turns fly by quicker than you expect, and you kind of have to quickly reapply these debuffs as well. One of the weaknesses of Vanille is that she's very single target, so this one isn't all that good against multiple enemies, so you're gonna have to keep using it on enemy of the enemy. And even with the damage buff, the Deep Protect still doesn't do that much damage, so that's unfortunate. If it did a lot more damage, then I would rate Vanille a lot higher. I really think that if it just increased damage a lot more and extend the duration of the debuff to like 4 or 5 turns, I'd give Vanille the gold. But unfortunately, she gets the silver. So by process of elimination, the gold goes to Yuna. Now, what I like about Yuna's 5-star Astral Rod is that it turns Esuna into an AoE and that means that you can beat Malboros very easily because you just dispel their bad breaths. And as the game progresses more and more, you face more and more Malboros, and they are very scary because their debuffs get stronger and worse as the game progresses. So having Yuna just is a really good counter to them. So it has use now and it has use throughout the game. It's kind of niche, but then there are some bosses as well who do love using their debuffs. So that also means that Yuna is someone who you can use there too. So in my opinion, because of how useful it is and how good Yuna will get in the future, I'm giving Yuna the gold. So that's my opinion. It goes Hope for the bronze, Vanille for the silver, and Yuna for the gold. But this is all just my opinion. You guys, my opinion might differ depending on how you react to these relics, but that's just my experience having played with 2 of them. I really want to get Hope Skycutter just so I can say like I have like a lot of 5 stars, and not having that is really annoying now. Like the more I review stuff and talk about relics, the more it becomes abundantly apparent that I don't have this, and it's really, really upsetting. But yeah, that's a tangent for another video on another day. But yeah, that's just my 5 cents on this banner. I will be pulling on this banner. So I skipped the Terra banner, and I really wanted to pull on this banner more because I'm pulling mostly for Yuno. But knowing my luck, I will probably get Hope Skycutter, and I'll be it. And RNG will just laugh at me saying, "You wanted it, here you go." But yeah, that's just my review of this banner. Next one, we'll be moving on to the best part of the video. You'll be dissecting the bosses, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I'm doing the level 50 battle to show you guys the Vanille event, but I've stopped at battle 2. I've stopped here for a reason, so this is to prepare you guys for what's coming in round 3. Yep, you'll be facing a Marlboro as you go on towards the boss, so be prepared for that. Be very, very prepared. If you don't have Yuna's relic, be prepared for that a bad breath, which is going to be very annoying here. But I thought I'd give you guys a little heads up on that before we get onto the main boss. So I will see you in a bit, and yeah, prepare accordingly. Okay, so let's get to it. The boss of the Vanille event. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Berserk armor. So, I think global players have been a much better place to tackle this guy than JP players were. Yuna has her buffs now, so Asuna does give Braves to the whole party, so that's pretty good. Hope also has his buffs, which makes all of his buffs AoE, and gives Braves to the party as well. So you have a good party that will just get lots of Brave really quickly. This is one boss you don't want to have a long battle with. And also one more very important thing to note. This is very, very important. So if you're watching and your mind isn't elsewhere, stop what you're doing and listen to this. This guy is heavily resistant to physical attacks. So your clouds, your skulls aren't doing anything to this guy. He will resist it and eat those hits for days. You have to go in with a magical party. So the synergy team for this event is actually really good and really well equipped to take him down, especially with their buffs. But once again, do not go in with physical attackers, guys, because he will eat your attacks and he will just destroy you. This guy, if the battle goes on very long, he will destroy even like the most wailed out, decked out physical attackers. So do not go in with physical attackers. Okay, with that out the way, this guy doesn't have any elemental weaknesses, so you can bring whatever summon you feel is your best one. I like to go myself as always because of her healing and brave. So yeah, let's get into how this guy really is. So he is a physical attacker. All his attacks do physical damage. He has no magical attacks. So Hope's second ability, Protect, is really good here because it really reduces the amount of damage that he will be doing, and that is going to help you, especially if you're using a full synergy party here, because if you're using a full synergy party, the stats are that much better. So make sure that you guys have a full synergy party who are well leveled and have high crystal growth as well, because that put you in a good position to go through his boss. You don't need to have Hope's relics for his abilities to be good, so that's one thing to know as well. So let's just go through the first couple of turns. He's pretty much got a physical attack, does a bit of damage, and no other really effects other than that. Oh jeez, just realised that my Yuna, I forgot to unequip her level 55 Crystal Awakening ability that makes Asuna really good. So you guys are going to get a little glimpse of how Yuna is going to be in the future and why she's so highly rated. So as you guys can see, he's just taking brave damage, and he does a attack. No real effects to it. It's just a normal attack. So now, when you guys see that, that means he's going to buff himself. So early on in the fight, he buffs himself with haste, which means that he will act quicker. So let's see him use haste. I'm just going to brave attack him instead of using my normal attack, HP attack. And there you go. So that gives him haste for 6 turns as well. So that's a long haste. So you really need to have Vanille for this fight, in my opinion, because those buffs are very dangerous. And you need to have the spell, guys. You really need to have the spell. I mean, at least this is what I really feel. Like, I really feel like you need the spell for this fight. Because as you guys can see, look at that. He moves and he moves right there. So that's 2 attacks in quick succession. So we're going to do this. And I'm going to remove his debuff. So goodbye. And as you guys can see, because I have Vanille's passives equipped and stuff like that, you saw the turn delay reduced, right? So Vanille was supposed to attack after him, but now she attacks before him, so that's pretty cool. So this guy has a second buff that he puts on himself, and that buff is probably far scarier than the haste, and that is saying something considering now how his damage is actually doing. Like, I've got Protect and Decked Out Armor, and I'm still taking quite a bit of damage. So imagine that the players should have armor that's really all that maxed out. In broken purpose here. Hopefully, okay. So hopefully he should use this second debuff here. Second buff here, and it's actually quite an interesting buff as well. I really like it. Oh, he's using haste. Okay. So funny enough, you can actually force him to use his second buff. So when his HP goes to being around, I think 70%, if you break him, he'll change from attacking someone to using his Berserk buff. So you need to be very careful about breaking him. So we're going to see him use his Berserk buff, hopefully if I break him here. Yes, as you guys can see there, he went from attacking Vanille to going to buffing himself. And this Berserk buff is so much fun. Like, I really like it. So as you guys can see, he's got that dark aura around him. He's got the angry face for that Berserk, which is 3 turns. And as another thing you guys can see, you can't see who he's attacking. So that makes it very interesting. Can you risk going for the HP attack, or can you not? And this is why I think Vanille is very, very essential to this fight. But one of the problems with Vanille's Dispel is, I need to get rid of Berserk, but because he has haste, it's going to get rid of the first buff first and then move on to the second buff. So it will take 2 turns of Dispel in order to get rid of these buffs. So make sure to get rid of haste when you can. Like, focus on getting rid of it. If you have to, get rid of it. Like, don't go for the HP attack thinking more damage is good. No. You want to beat this guy quickly, but you have to play smart in this fight. You can't go reckless like you can with Guy Behemoth to a extent. So we're just going to show what he's like when he's in Berserk. So I do think he gets a small attack boost as well, so he ends up doing a lot more damage. And with that haste as well, scary times. But when he has Berserk, he has an attack that he can use. This attack can only be used in Berserk. Only. So if he's not in Berserk, I don't think he can use it. And hopefully I'm going to get him to use it here. Okay, there we go. As you guys can see, it's a 4 random hits to all party members, and that is quite scary because as you guys can see, his brave is shot to 3,000, and that is with Protect and Decked Out Armor. So be very careful of that. Don't let him be in Berserk. I can't stress this enough. Don't let him be in Berserk. He will rip you to shreds. He'll break you easier than he is here for me because I'm decked out. But he still poses a threat to me. So now I'm going to show you like the one drawback to Vanille's dispel. So yeah, even though I really need to have Berserk gone, unfortunately that wasn't the case, and I ended up taking HP damage, but I still can't see who's going to attack. So I'm just going to get rid of that Berserk now, and hopefully show you what happens when he's out of Berserk mode. So when he goes out of Berserk mode, as you guys can briefly see, you can now see who he's going to attack, and that huge scary aura is gone. So that's pretty interesting as well. So visually you can see the difference between when he's not in Berserk and when he is in Berserk. Oh, yeah, so that's it. I'm going to show once again if I can. See, the damage there is kind of why I don't have Vanille Relic as being the gold, because do you see that? It didn't even break him, and that's with synergy and her weapon. Have her weapon as well. But yeah, I'm gonna just do a reminder once again, as you guys can see. Yeah, so when he gets to that HP, when he gets to a certain HP threshold, he will be using that Berserk change instead of attacking. So be very careful about when you break him. You want to beat this guy as quickly as possible here, and be afraid when he starts buffing himself. But that means though that you can go for HP attacks without kind of worry, because he doesn't get speed boost with Berserk, and he will switch automatically to using Berserk. So that's one thing you can do to manipulate him. So you can just break him in that sense and use the spell turn afterwards, but you got to plan it just right so that Vanille does act after him in order to get rid of the Berserk. But that is one kind of exploit you can use. Don't forget to use your summon if you want to beat this guy quickly. But that's pretty much this boss in a nutshell. In my opinion, this guy was one of the more fun boss fights in the game. But us who play this fight in JP, we didn't have half the goodies that you global players had. So this was a real struggle. Like, it was so difficult to beat this guy. But yeah, that's just my breakdown of the boss. I hope this has been informative to you guys. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. For those who don't want to be spoiled how Vanille is in the future, you can now just click away. But in the next pop, I will be showing how Vanille is in the future, and I hope that it can give you some enlightenment on whether or not you want to invest into Vanille. So once again, I'm going to say this again. In the next part, I will be talking about Vanille in depth in the future. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you want to keep yourself in the dark, then close the video now. But you have been warned. So I'm going to do a little countdown, and after that, I'll be moving on to Vanille in the future. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for you guys who stayed around, how good does Vanille get? Well, Vanille gets an exclusive later on down the line. So when Vanille and Squall become permanent characters in the game that you can recruit at any time, they get a banner dedicated to their exclusives. Now, Vanille's exclusive increases the power of the spell and turns it into an AoE attack, so that's pretty cool. And what it also does is it removes 2 buffs from the enemy, and when you deal damage with the spell, all party members get brave, I think up to 80% of the brave damage that you deal to the enemy. So I'm going to show it in action here. So here we go. As you guys can see, everyone got brave, so that's pretty cool. it. We won't change it to that. So guys, you remember how in the breakdown of the boss, one of the problems was I could not do anything about him having two buffs at the same time, because I had to get rid of haste first, then the Berserk. Behold, Vanille exclusive. Goodbye. Buff's gone. If you guys saw that for that quick second, he was going to use that AoE attack, but he changed to a normal attack. So that's pretty much Vanille's exclusive in a nutshell. As of this video, she doesn't get a level break as of yet, so she still is tied to level 50. But look out, promising signs for our little Saboteur. I quite like her role in this game. She's a really good Saboteur, and yeah, Vanille, great exclusive. Like, it does fade out quite a bit because you can just DPS and kill a boss quicker than they can buff themselves up, but it's still a good weapon to have because the options are invaluable. There is a boss though that gets really scary, and he puts crazy amounts of buffs on themselves, and Vanille's exclusive really takes it down. Funny enough, Vanille's exclusive comes when that boss is in the game, so that's quite interesting. But yeah, she kind of fades, unfortunately, but she's still a good character. Just because a character fades doesn't make him bad. It's just because the good become really good. But she's still a good character on her own, and her exclusive is really good, so you don't really need to master the passive from her first weapon, because you still do really good with the Dispel. And yeah, anyway, let's end this video here and now. Hope you guys all enjoyed for those who stuck around, and thank you guys all for watching. The support and comments has been overwhelming. It's been really nice, and it's been great having all sorts of new people to talk to in comment sections as well. Keep them coming, guys, keep them coming. I'm loving it. Anyway, this is Let's Play. Subscribe if you haven't. I do lots of Omnia content, and I will see you for the next video. Until then, goodbye.